Hello everybody and welcome back to another All the Mods video. And yes, by popular demand, today we're gonna go quantum. But first, there's some places where we can improve our base. Starting off with the circuit slicers. Yes, we can now actually upgrade all of these inscribers to circuit slicers, or I guess we're gonna keep them both because I like how this looks. And we can just put these ones over here and hopefully we can have a much faster process of actually getting things done here. Now the slicer does the same as pretty much the inscribers in terms of getting me the printed circuits, but as you can see, it takes an entire block immediately and turns it into 9 at a time. So this is way faster than the normal way. But now, having installed all of the patterns over here means nothing in terms of speed if we're still being held back by these guys at the moment. So we can also take our crystal assemblers and give them these recipes, which means this is now much faster as well. Now we are now just encountering the first problem, and that is in this update, this recipe for some reason it's kind of messing up. Basically the singularities here, if I ask any process to use them, it makes 2, right? But the problem is one of these is automatically being kept over here in the reaction chamber, and that is bad because this pretty much locks up the entire machine, and I gotta manually fix this. So this is definitely not good. Never mind, found the problem. I had a bad recipe over here that was inputting for some reason one shatter singularity into here, and that was just messing everything up. It should be fixed now. But with that out of the way, it's time to start building the quantum computer. Now, I did tell my already existing computer to make me a bunch of stuff. And, well, I'm actually missing one of these. Okay, there we go. Done. So we do have a bunch of blocks that are, well, required for this. And I'm missing this one still. So let's tell our computer to make it while we start here. And we're going to need one of these, one computer core, one data entangler, one multi-threader, and we're going to also need one computer storage. And these are the single blocks that you're going to need. The rest of the blocks are going to be made out of quantum computer structures for the outside, and the rest of the inside is going to be filled with quantum computer accelerators, which I may need a few extra ones. I'm not sure about 120, so let's just ask for a few more. So now that I have every single thing that I need, let's start in placing this down. So this is going to be the first block, and then we're going to go 3 on each side to make the maximum range of 7. This needs to be a 7 by 7. Now, just before I close this, let's actually just start putting things in the middle. And let's start with these computer accelerators. Now, these guys are actually going to be taking up most of the space. So we just want to pretty much fill everything that's a gap with these guys, so your computer is actually faster. And then you're gonna need one of each of these. You're gonna need a multi-threader, you're gonna need a core, you're gonna need an entangler, and then you want a storage. Now you don't necessarily need them, I think, but you want them to basically make everything work better. And then the rest of the space is basically just these accelerators. So now they're all solid, which means I can actually just raise this up a little bit like so, and then grab this and put it here, and boom, it actually assembled. We have our quantum computer structure. Now it is offline because I don't have cables here, but we're gonna bring them. And linking it up with the P2P channels, we now have our amazing computer. Now this pretty much basically tells me that we can remove, well, all of these really. But you know, this is still kind of limited, you know, even though that guy has a lot of crafting capacity, they're still kind of limited by this side over here, where we have the molecular assemblers. Pretty much we're limited to their speed now, because we can craft a lot faster, but if these guys aren't any faster, then the crafting are also not that much faster. But fear not, because there's actually a multi-block for this as well. And this is the matrix, the assembler matrix. Basically, we can build this guy using assembler matrix frames, matrix walls. We can even use glass, I believe. Plus some pattern cores, some craft cores, and some speed cores. And we're gonna be needing pretty much all of these. I'm not sure about the glass. We could put it, but that's not really anything to see on the inside, so we'll see about that. But this is the next step, getting all of these guys set it up. So let's actually put our big computer to the test now. Now, to build this guy, we also need to have in mind that, for example, for the speed core over here, we only need 5. Yes, we only need 5 of these to actually have it run at the max speed. And also, if you take a look at the assembler, it's a 7x7 structure that needs a wall, which means the inside is a 5x5. So 5x5 by 5, because it's also in height, it's 125, which means if we're using 5 of these for speed cores, which we can actually tell our computer to craft these for us. There we go. It leaves 120 blocks. So the rest we're gonna split evenly with these guys. So 60 of the purple ones, which we're missing some intro dust, and we're gonna have to get that sorted. And we also need 60 of these, which we're also missing the dust. Okay. I mean, it's not that we're missing the dust, we're missing the recipe for it, because we have a lot of intro crystals. We just don't have the recipe for this yet. And let's actually take a look at here. Yes, exactly. Now we can see that pretty much whenever we're asking for something to be done, we have multiple CPUs that are working simultaneously inside of the computer structure, which is amazing. You know, it does several processes at once. This is super, super fast. So let's actually get hands on now building this guy. So we're going to go to the center of this one, and we're going to put a cable here. This is basically going to allow us to connect to the upstairs version of the block, the assembler one. And let's start off with using these walls, the assembler matrix walls, to make a 5x5. And of course, we will be needing the frame here around it. So this matrix frame goes like so. And it's kind of great that they're both 7x7 because they fit perfectly on top of each other. Like, I couldn't ask for a better thing. Now, to make the frame, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And just count that 1, 2, 3. That's the middle. Yeah, that's perfect. And now we're just gonna go around and fill it up with the rest of the frames. So I finished the frame. I put some walls at the top, and we're gonna actually be using glasses for the side to see how it looks, to see if anything changes really. But of course, we need to put these matrix cores for speed. And let's just say we have them like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, I think that works. And we're gonna pretty much divide this like side by side. So like half of the side is gonna be the blue version, and the other half is gonna be the red version. So basically the patterns and the craft cores. And yes, if you do it like this, you should have exactly the perfect amount. And I mean, this is not even the red ones, so it's the purple ones. You should have the perfect amount to actually fill this in just like so. And as soon as I place this, yes, it turns on. You can say that it's on because of the purple border lighting up. Now there's only one thing missing, and that is to actually go downstairs and bring all our patterns. Yes, all of the things that we placed in here. Well, not this side. All of these. Yes, they're all gonna go to that giant thing up there. Well, this pretty much means that this entire room is now empty, and we kind of need to fill it back up with something else because, well, everything now is actually just over here, and this should be incredibly fast. Now that we have this here, I'm pretty much just gonna move out the bees, you know. And yes, I figured out, as you guys told me, that the slab needs to be actually 1 block lower. It could be like that, or it could be like the upper half, you could call it that. So I could just break this and I could put it like this. That should work as well. And that pretty much tells me that we kind of need to move this, right? But now I was actually able to get the bee, the necessary bee, the Endurium bee. And last episode I wasn't able to breed them. And I realized why, because basically the bees that you make, if you breed a bee, it becomes a baby. So it's a child. So you kind of need to make them an adult first. And that's why we have here the incubator. Yes, so they immediately grow all the way up to an adult, and then you can put them in the breeding, and boom, you get the bees that you need, which means we got the Indian bee. So we can now make these entangled blocks, which they are pretty good and pretty strong. But we'll see, we're up to the point that we also need to start making a bunch of stuff. And most of these higher end stuff, they will be requiring the aldemodium or the vibranium or even like these alloys and stuff. And we don't have an income of aldemodium or vibranium or even an obtanium. So let's hopefully work on that with the bees. Yes, now we can see that, for example, this one is an ancient bee with a withered bee, and the withered bee is just a wither rose on a skeletal bee, and the ancient bee is a block of netherite on a diamond bee. So I'm gonna try and get like 5 aldemodium, 5 vibranium, if I can. Are you hard to get? Okay, draconic bee we have, ancient bee pretty easy. We now just need to use the centrifuge on the combs that we have, so that should really be easy for us. And then it's the unobtainium bee that we need to worry about, probably because this uses a vibranium with an aldemodium. Okay, so we need to make one of both, and we also need some unobtainium ingots, which luckily I have. So we make an unobtainium bee. Now I need 5 of each at least for what I want, so let's hopefully we can get that without that much trouble. Oh, and of course, how could I not talk about this? We now have Create 6.0, which means I'm gonna have a bunch of fun with this, because I have some plans to actually help out this village over here to always, or pretty much always, have the resources that it needs. Now, how's that gonna work? I have no clue exactly, because I still need to figure out all the new Create 6.0 mechanics. Are you alright, sir? You don't seem alright. Well, it took me a while, but I was able to get the zombie and the skeletal bee, and in order to get them, you kind of need to put them in a dark spot. So you basically should find a dark spot, get your beehives or advanced beehives in a completely unlit area, and eventually you get them. So I had them just resting underneath here in a dark room, and well, we got both of them. Fortunately, because I was tired of waiting. And by giving it a wither rose to our skeleton bee, we now make the withered bee, which putting together with the ancient one, we get the aldemodium one. And if we already have the vibranium one, so now we have an aldemodium, we have a vibranium one, and to make the vibranium, you give it a draconic with the ancient, and you get a vibranium. So I'm gonna make actually 5 of all of them. And then we're gonna go for the unobtainium one. Apparently they also can spawn up here, because I guess he thinks this is an unlit area. Oh my god, I had that cage and I was waiting down there and he's just spawning up here. Well, now we needed a second one, so now we have it. That's crazy. Apparently the breeding seems to be disabled. Like, yeah, to acquire this bee, look up the crafting recipe for the egg, because apparently this doesn't work, because I have the setup there and it's not working, and all should be working. So I'm guessing I just need to do this right here. Or, hold on, we might be doing the same mistake again. Yes, they are childs. Come on, man, come on. Okay, it works, perfect. Now let's just go ahead and make this an adult as well. And these ones are, yeah, they're all childs. These ones are actually making stuff as a child, so I don't know why they're not doing anything. But we now have an obtainium block here. We have the simulator upgrade, so we should now start farming an obtainium. The aldemodium we are actually getting, even though they're still childs. We might just want to make sure. Okay, now we got vibranium as well, so everything is working. Now I don't know if this affects anything, the fact that they're still babies or not. I'll have to see. But at the moment, I'm just trying to get more unobtainium and more vibranium because this is all I have. And I kind of want to fill this up with 5 more bees. So yeah, we need more of bees. So luckily on the last episode, I also set this up, and this apparently just had to be flipped. So the egg's on top, and now we're actually getting dragon eggs. And that is all because we need also a bunch of dragon bees or draconic bees. That's because we need or should aim at having these productivity omega, which is going to increase the output of all our bees by a lot. A lot. But now to make this, not only we need the unobtainium nuggets that we're going to get from the bees, we also need echo shards that we can also get from Skulk Bee, which is also something I need to get my hands on. And we also, more importantly than not, need a bunch of draconic chunks. And draconic chunks come from draconic dust, which, well, comes from the bees. So I'm gonna grab a bunch more draconic bees. And so I made this. We have the wall of the comb, so if I also upgraded with a bunch of diamond upgrades, just in case this thing backs up. It shouldn't really. But then from there, it actually goes into this central or controller access point, which then puts the items into all of these centrifuges, and some images kind of bug there. But mostly what we want is to get our hands on the resources that come out of these combs, and then they're coming into another access point, which is connected to this side, which is where we have everything being stored. Now this scrap, I'm gonna save it here for now. And basically everything that gets processed in terms of the combs, like so, it's then being immediately put into this drawer, and this can keep expanding and expanding. And all I need to do whenever I add a new bee is grab the corresponding comb, slap it over here, and then boom, that drawer does its thing, sends it to here, gets processed, and then I need to just check. Yep, there we go. Whenever it has something to put into the drawers, and then we just add it, and boom, it's automated. And now we also have the Skulk Bee, which means we can actually start farming the Skulk shards pretty easily because they come out of the Skulk comb. You know, just put in the centrifuge, you get echo shards. Well, 30% chance, not that bad, right? So this is just gonna sit here farming. Eventually, we'll have a bunch of these. Because besides this, what could we possibly be making? We could use the loot fabricator. We do have the warden loot fabricator, so we can use this to increase our amount pretty quickly in case we need to. The runic enchanter, I don't really know what this is. I'm not gonna mess with that. And the industrial foregoing, well, we're still gonna get there. We're not there yet. And we now also have 5 draconic bees, the 5 unobtainium bees, the 5 aldemodium bees, and the 5 vibranium bees. So now the only thing that we're really missing is the omega upgrades. Of course, these require a bunch of other resources, mainly the echo shards at the moment. So we might want to speed this up using the warden prediction. But pretty much we should have everything else, like tons of all the other items, except the obtainium ingots. But we're getting them. We're getting them from here, so it shouldn't take that long. Oh yeah, and we're also lacking in the draconic chunks department. So these guys need to work. So I might want to check the previous upgrades from productivity. I guess we should. Okay, there we go. So we might want to do like start with some alphas or maybe betas. We'll probably do some betas. Now, right now, we could or we should be aiming to get better ways to upgrade this. That's why I'm going for the omegas. But there's actually some other manual ways for me to speed this up. There's a little bit of an issue there. Is that, you see, apparently I can use time 1 to help me with this. It just needs time fluid and energy. But I have no idea where I'm gonna get time crystals. I haven't looked it up, so I guess we'll have to try and find out. And the other way is time in the bottle, right? Yes, time in a bottle. Now, the problem with time at the bottle is that it requires 2 of the Omega ones. So we do not have the Omegas. We're working to get them. Plus, there's also like the Neptunium stuff, which I haven't gotten anything. I believe we can get it through fishing. I now have a fisherman's hut, which should technically fish it. I don't know what's the fish bowl for the fisherman's hut though. Okay, so this is the bowl for him, and no, it doesn't seem to be able to get Neptunium stuff, so I have no clue where to get it from. Now, I decided to venture just to the, what's this name? The Ancient Factory, that is. And, well, I maybe want to try and face that guy off, but I got some totems of Undying. I should actually grab a few more, because I'm not very confident in these bosses, because they seem to one-shot me every time. So, are you the boss? I mean, you have 15,000 HP, and I do not have the Decrepitude enchantment on this sword, but I also can hit very fast, but I think I need to wake him up with something. So apparently he gets powered up with another star. I mean, it does kind of resemble of the Wither, so let's hope I can do something to him. He's not one-tapping me, that's good. Now, I do need to use these EMPs, which did nothing, apparently. Where is he? Ah! I can see! Apparently, I can now tank everything. I am God, and I now see that his HP bar is actually lowering. And I just hope he doesn't one-shot me. Come on. Come on. Nearly there. Come on. There we go. The Harbinger is down. Oh well, since this is pretty much limiting me at the moment, and I kind of do not want to get more Ender Dragon or Draconic Bees, I might change my opinion on that, but we'll see. But since we have to wait, I guess that's all the time we're gonna have for today. And as always, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't, and see ya in the next one. Bye.